What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my Godzilla comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to talk about Godzilla Heist, issue number 5 of 5. This is the final issue in the Godzilla Heist series. I don't know if they'll ever make a sequel. Personally, I think this is kind of a good conclusion to it. It kind of leaves itself a little bit ambiguous for our lead character and not to see like where they go from there. But I think, like I said, 5 issues is kind of like good enough for this type of storyline. So this one, story by Van Jensen, art by Kelsey Ramsey, colors by Heather Breckel, letters and design by Sandy Tanaka, editor Jake Williams. So we saw what the whole heist thing was building up to. Our lead character had to basically do all this stuff to steal Mechagodzilla because his mom was like in charge of like making the design of it. And Mechagodzilla is of course based on Kiryu, but now he wants to fight and kill Godzilla after all the wrongdoings that Godzilla has done to him and his family. And pretty much the whole entire issue is just Godzilla battling Mechagodzilla, and it's honestly my favorite of the bunch because I like seeing these two characters clash. He tries to lead Godzilla away at one point, he gets blasted in the back, and we get some moments right here where he has to kind of jump and knock him over the cliff into the ocean, which feels very reminiscent of King Kong versus Godzilla. And there's kind of a whole self-destruction thing. Does he self-sacrifice himself or not? And then ultimately it kind of concludes in a sort of ambiguous note, but you kind of see the guy's hand at the end. Is this the end of it all or whatnot? So, but again, this is my favorite issue of the bunch because most of it is this pretty cool looking artwork and a lot of action between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Again, I think this ended the series on a really fun, exciting note because we don't really get too much in terms of kaiju and all that battles within the series. It was kind of the whole heist angle, the setup for the final issue. And because we had to wait for that, we got to the big payoff, like they really delivered with it. Because like I said, this issue is pretty much nonstop action from the get-go. And you get some cool like shots of Godzilla and Mechagodzilla doing battle. We get some things that kind of made me feel like I was rewatching Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, you know, with Yumiko Shaku as like Akane, and she has to kind of like knock Godzilla into the ocean. But this time it's a little bit different and it's more of a sacrifice. But then again, they also kind of did that in Tokyo SOS 2, if I'm not mistaken, where they go back into the sea and all that as well. So yeah, that's right, because there was the frost blast and against Mechagodzilla, and then it's like he has to like fly out to sea with Mecha G and all that stuff. But you know, they're basically like, you know, two of the same kind of similar movies and all that too, although I prefer against Mechagodzilla over Tokyo SOS because Akane was a better lead. But anyways, I'm getting off track there. But this is a pretty fun comic book, like at least this particular issue. Some issues were a little bit lesser, like it wasn't the strongest series that IDW had done. I thought the initial hook with it all of using a giant monster to help perform heists was a bit of an interesting take to kind of go with it. That's not something I've really seen with a kaiju storyline before, and that was pretty fun. And then it kind of just came into like typical like heist stuff, and then betrayals, backstabbing, and all that other stuff. And I was just kind of like, all right, let's see Godzilla do some really cool stuff towards the end. And he does. Like I said, the final battle stuff has some really solid artwork and some cool images that, like I said, I would like to see like some of this integrate into like a live action film or something. Just some of the shots and how they kind of battled each other and stuff. So for me, that was like, it made the comic book worth it. Like I said, I like a good Godzilla and Mechagodzilla battle here and there, and this one's a really impressive one. So thumbs up for me, especially if you like Godzilla and Mechagodzilla as characters, because like I said, this issue is pretty much just all non-stop fighting, and that's what made it the most fun for me, the whole bunch. But again, like they kind of savored it for the end, so now that we're kind of here and at the end and getting to that final moment and all that stuff, it kind of worked out for me in the end. So but yeah, what did you all think of the issue? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all the other fun stuff. I got like 1, maybe 2 comic book reviews left. Well, it would have been 2, but this Godzilla vs. Thor comic book like that I bought off like Amazon, they put the wrong comic in there. They put like a Green Goblin #1. I'm like, how the hell do you mess that up, Amazon? Like, come on. So that one I won't be able to review until they kind of fix that situation. I mean, I paid for one comic and they gave me a different one. And it's not like a physical order you can just kind of return it. It's a digital thing. Like, so they need to fix something internally, but they're just taking their sweet time with it. Because, like I said, I have never in my years using Amazon ever had that as an issue. So I always thought maybe it was like an April Fool's Day gag, and the Green Goblin was like, ha, you will read my #1 thing. Finish it. Whatever, Defoe, Green Goblin or whatever. But yeah, sorry, that just irritated the hell out of me. But anyways, this is a pretty solid comic book, and thumbs up for me. So, and that concludes the series. So I don't know what's next in terms of IDW stuff. I really do miss the Rivals series. That was a lot of fun. But I also kind of wanted them to start a new, like, ongoing. I almost wish they could continue off of, like, Rulers of Earth and start another storyline from that continuity and move into something else, because I mean, we're getting a lot of fun stuff in that here and there, but I kind of want more of a long-term ongoing series. Well, there's Here There Be Aliens. Like that's to me, that's the best one that they got going on right now, in terms of the series. Like that one's been an interesting hook from the get-go, and it's just gotten more and more exciting as it's gone on. So I'm looking forward to when that one drops again. So, but in the meantime, Godzilla Heist is a pretty solid one. So all right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.